Good afternoon. Welcome to JoyNews Today. My name is Ayine. We're coming to you live from our studio in Kokomlemle. We're on DTT because we're free to on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 125. We are your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. Coming up this afternoon, residents along the Ofankopo Kwasin Sawam urge authorities to frequently dampen the dusty road and find solutions to their predicament. More as health experts express worry over the air pollution, which is causing a range of health problems. Also this afternoon, fresh pressure on President Akufo-Addo to assent to the controversial Anti-LGBTQ bill. More as the Methodist Church of Ghana hints of plans to meet with the president over the issue.
That Ghanaians are not in for any LGBTQ.
Former Deputy Attorney General Dominic Ayine accuses Attorney General Godfrey Dame of unethical behaviour after the AG got the Supreme Court to expedite hearing on the injunction application against the approval of ministers.
The application clearly was frivolous, and there ought not to be any manipulation of what went on in court. Even Parliament itself was opposed to the application.
Details of a stern response from the Attorney General, who is accusing the NDC of gross ignorance about how the courts work. And in today's episode of JoyNews Filth Exhibition Series, we'll take you to the Aladuna community here in the Greater Accra region, where residents have converted an open drain into a waste dumping site. My name is Ayine. We're also live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and X Spaces at JoyNews on TV. My personal handle is @Aisha. Please do stay for details. Residents along the Ofankopo Kwasin Sawam Road are grappling with a dense dust cloud generated by ongoing road construction. The air pollution is causing a range of health problems that have alarmed health experts. It's a problem shared by communities across Ghana whenever road works take place. As Clean Air reporter Michael Ashali reports, community members are urging authorities to frequently dampen the dusty road and find a solution to their predicament.
The Ofankopo Kwasin Sawam Highway has become a dust-choked battleground, leaving residents and workers here grappling with air pollution. The stretch spans more than 30 kilometers and ferries thousands of commuters daily. After enduring years of a road plagued with potholes, this road rehabilitation has become a new inconvenience for the community.
So once they started this road, the dust is worrying us too much. It worries me when I dress up to go to work and I get to work. It seems my attire or my dress will be in a dead form.
Air pollution is a growing problem across the world, especially in fast-growing cities like Accra. Pollutants from vehicle exhaust, factories, and waste burning are sickening many Ghanaians and leading to nearly 30,000 premature deaths a year, according to the World Health Organization. Air pollution is a major cause of lung diseases like asthma and pneumonia, but it also leads to blindness, heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and birth defects. Roadworks here were badly needed. People had endured potholes that had made the trip difficult for years. The construction is expected to continue until December 2024. Roadworks like this are a problem across Ghana. In hot, dry months, dust kicked up blanketed communities around it, causing a range of serious health problems. Some that might be with people for life.
Over here, just in front here, we have some hairs in the nose that serve to trap particles in the air, particulate matter in the air.
Dr. Kwabena Ejenim Boatin works as a resident ear, nose and throat surgeon at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. He says dust can be so small and so overwhelming that it gets into the lungs and bloodstream.
And then it goes on into the skin in the nose over here. This reddish part that you see. It's a place that has a very big surface area to help in conditioning the air, making it warm enough for the body, and it also serves to trap some of the particles that may have escaped from here, over there. Now, in its attempt to do that, that is when, by contact with some of the allergens, then this nasal cavity, as in your nose, would react and be producing the itchiness that we talked about earlier, the nasal congestion, etc.
It's no surprise many people have chosen to wear a mask. Health experts say that's good. Masks are one way to reduce inhalation of dangerous pollutants. Reducing exposure to dust is also important, especially for vulnerable groups like children, the elderly, and those with existing health problems.
Ministers of state whose conduct results in the payment of judgment debt with compound interest could be jailed between 10 and 15 years under the amended contract law now in effect. The Contract Act 2023, Amendment Act 2023, Act 1114, sponsored by the Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Godfrey Adame, was passed in Parliament in 2023 and presented to President Akufo-Addo on March 5, 2024 for assent. It seeks to curb the tendency on the part of public officers to enter into contracts with high rates of interest, especially compound interest, which has resulted in huge financial losses to the state. Deputy Attorney General Alfred Chayabwa tells my colleague Elton Brobe that the payment of such debts could cripple the finances of the country.
We may have instances where state officers, they become complicit. I may have instances where people may also, we all live in this country where somewhere 2010, 2011, we spoke about create, loot and share,
right,
where some officers may also just want to collude with others, create some scenarios, go to court, get judgments, and then share the judgment booty.
So this amendment that you've done, what is it seeking to cure?
Now, it's seeking to cure situations where state officials enter into judgments on behalf, enter into contract on behalf of the state or the republic. And in the body or content of this contract, you have clauses relating to the payment of compound interest in default or in breach of the contract. A compound interest where you have interest on interest.
Interest on interest.
On interest. So if the first year is 1,000 Ghana is on 10,000, it will mean that if we're working the second month, you won't work it on 100,000, but you work it on 110,000. So the interest will go, the rate will go up. So that's our compound. So at the end of the day, you may even have 1,000 Ghana cedis. Simple interest for 12 months, 10%. You may end up paying, for example, 2,200 Ghana cedis because it's 1,200 they're going to add. But in instance where if it's compound interest, you may even pay more, sometimes 100,000, 15,000, 20,000, depending on the rate. But there is a law. Before I come to this, there's a law in Ghana when it comes to the award of interest, CI 52. In that law, when the court decrees judgment in your favor and you pray for judgment, the rule is that the court will award simple interest unless there is a provision in your contract to the contrary that you have agreed that the court should award compound interest. It is to cure this that we are saying that if you are acting on behalf of the state, our position is that for every contract, it should be simple interest.
And not compound.
Not compound.
Right.
So if you are dealing with us and you think that you are not interested in simple interest, then you better stop. You can go and deal with other countries because we know that if care is not taken and rely on compound interest and there are defaults, you get to a point where the 10 trillion, Ghana, what's our total GDP?
I mean, that's actually...
That's it. But just one case, claiming 10 trillion out of compound interest. Now, if you take the Act 114, there are various provisions. The first one is seeks to amend Section 17 of the Contracts Act. And it's now including certain clauses or certain sections. One of them being who can have the authority or who has the authority to sign contracts on behalf of the Republic. It's detailed in this act.
And who has the authority under this act?
Now, the minister, the sector minister in charge of that sector, for example, if it's about roads and the contracts about roads, it should be the roads minister.
Previously, it wasn't like that.
Previously, the minister could do it.
Right.
Other officers could, but we just want to be very specific.
That the minister has the final authority
he has to
sign such contract on behalf of the state.
Yes. Or the minister may authorize someone to do it.
And still on legal matters, a former Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayine, is accusing the current Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Godfrey Dame Yeboah, of unethical legal behavior. The accusation follows a revelation by the AG that he got the Supreme Court to expedite hearing on an injunction application against the approval of ministers, which has since been dismissed by the Apex Court. Speaking to Raymond Akon upfront, the Bolga East MP explained the process adopted by the Attorney General was to secure an unethical advantage for himself in the case by subverting the rules of procedure.
So I have listened to the Attorney General, and unfortunately, he's not giving a good impression of ethical conduct, as a lawyer. So I'm being very honest and upfront with you on this one. The reason is simply because if you want a court to give an expedited hearing, there is something we call an application for abridgment of time. You file that, you serve it on the other party, okay? And then they can prepare themselves and come to court on the abridged date, okay? You don't go Nicodemously to the registrar of the court or to the CJ, who is the chief administrator of the judiciary, to ask for the thing to be abridged. Then the registry puts the case, abridges time for you, all right, and then serves notice on the other parties to come to court immediately. That is unethical.
How?
It's grossly unethical. Okay, you are subverting the rules, of procedure in your favor, and that is all. It doesn't matter that you are the Attorney General of the Republic. You need to apply, for abridgment of time and serve notice on the lawyer on the other side, because the lawyer on the other side should not be taken by surprise. It is unethical for you to ambush another lawyer in the conduct of a case.
But in this case, it doesn't matter to serve them. The court says when you leave it at the firm.
That was not the hearing notice. For me, my understanding is that it was not the hearing notice for this particular matter. Was it? It was. What do you call it? I don't think it was was it a hearing notice?
That is what he said, that the court was serving the lawyer, Samoa Papus Ado's firm, with the hearing notice, but they were not there. So they said we left it there.
Okay. So was it the hearing notice, or it was the application for abridgment of time? So my point is not about the hearing notice.
Okay.
My point is about the abridgment of time. Whether the Attorney General applied for an abridgment of time, or he walked to the registry and say, issue a hearing notice, abridging time for an expedited hearing.
To those who do not understand these legal terms,
yes.
What's the difference anyway?
The difference is that in the case of an abridgment of time application, you file a formal application, all right, before the court.
Okay.
And that application seeks the court's, the exercise of the court's discretion, all right, to bring the hearing of the case forward.
But in a fiery response, Attorney General Godfrey Dame told Evans Mensah on Top Story that the NDC is exhibiting gross ignorance, insisting he did nothing wrong by getting the court to hear the case expeditiously.
Issue of abridgment of time does not even arise at all. The Tamako does not even understand the workings of the rules of court. An application for abridgment of time for hearing of a matter comes in when you have time, a certain or fixed time, and you seek to bring the date for it. That is when you are abridging the time, you are bringing it forward. When no date has been fixed, it is absolutely the duty of the matter to cause the matter to be fixed for hearing. So I specifically wrote a letter to her ladyship and ask any date for hearing. That's a letter on record, as is done by all practitioners when they are sought. All practitioners who know the workings and rules of court. And indeed, I have done this many, many times. Even recently in the Supreme Court case 2011. That time, Edwin Tamaklo was my student at the Ghana School of Law. It's a matter of record. I applied for an extra hearing of this famous Vans for France matter. So clearly, when the LGBTQ speak this way, it shows a total lack of understanding or total ignorance about the rules of court.
When did you write this letter?
I wrote the letter on Monday. It's a matter, I can give you a copy tomorrow.
Now, a lawyer for Roxanne Nelson Dafiamekponi Kwapo Samoa Ado has refuted the account of the Supreme Court bailiff that he rebuffed an attempt to serve on him some court process. He describes the claims of the bailiff as a barefaced lies.
It's unfortunate that the bailiff of the court would, on oath, tell a barefaced lie to the court. Now, this is the narration of events. I received a call. And luckily, I have the record from the bailiff of the court at 10:50 a.m. yesterday. I was not in Accra at that particular moment. I told him that he should take the number of Honorable Roxanne and ensure that he delivers the process to him. That was the last time I dealt with the bailiff. Now, this bailiff later on apparently goes to my office and says that identifies himself at the front desk and says he's a bailiff of the court and that he has a process to serve. He takes out the process and then puts it on the table. The secretary signed the process with my name on it and told him that, I wasn't in the office, but if he could wait and let me sign things when I came or when he got in contact with me. He said he wanted to call his boss and confirm whether that should be what he should do. That was the last time anybody heard of. Luckily, we have a CCTV system in our office with an audio capacity. So we have him on CCTV, and I'll put the CCTV out.
And you have him on
Whatever
CCTV?
He said was a blatant lie.
Well, presiding bishop of the Methodist Church of Ghana, Most Reverend Dr. Paul Kwabena Boafo, has indicated plans to meet with President Akufo-Addo regarding his delay in assenting the anti-LGBTQ bill. The disagreement between the president and the Speaker of Parliament still persists, with the president citing a pending court case as the reason for his refusal to accept the transmission of the bill. The Speaker of Parliament has criticized this stance, saying it undermines the legislative process. But Most Reverend Dr. Paul Kwabena Boafo is optimistic the anti-gay bill will be approved after their meeting with the president.
We all started this journey together, and we sent our proposals to the body that is to take our laws and see to what is good for us as a nation. The churches, the mosque, the traditional rulers, we all came together, we sent our proposals to them, and we asked that they should look at it. This is the voice of Ghanaians, and they have spoken, and it is unanimous that Ghanaians are not in for any LGBTQ. And that is it. And that is our stand, and we still stand by it. Now we are praying that the president will also give his assent to it, and so that it becomes what Ghanaians have asked for. We are also planning to come up with a paper so that we are planning to meet the president at the Jubilee House so that we can all think about the best way to go on this thing. And there are other things which maybe I need not disclose here.
Ghana West District Girls Education Officer at the Ghana Education Service, Erica Sena Nusala, has called on parents in the district to stop engaging girls in funeral activities in their various homes. According to her, most girls at the upper primary and junior high school skip school whenever there is a funeral for their family members. She says the practice is distracting the girl child in terms of academic work, and in most cases force them to drop out of school due to teenage pregnancy.
You go to our communities, especially our villages. Our funeral starts Thursdays. That is to some of us. they engage them. Go and fetch water. This auntie will be coming. The house is dirty. Sweep, mop, do this, do that. Saturday, excuse me to say, they are keeping them in their pata. So they are tired. Thursday, they were not in school. Friday, they are not in school. Saturday, they are keeping them in the cooking activities. Sunday, they will go to church. Monday, whatever activity continues. And the most annoying aspect is that Tuesday, I'm at Risa. So most of the girls are being kept at home doing such jobs. We are pleading with you. Speak to your people during your meetings so that they release our girls for us. Let them come to school. It is better for them to stay in the classroom and grab 50% than for them to stay at home and grab nothing.
The girl child education officer pointed out that the girls are craving too much to possess things they do not need at this stage.
The girls personally want things they do not deserve, things that are not relevant to them at that stage, which is hindering their education, their performance in the district. They feel they have seen a slave queen who just passed by and was driving. For me, it has always been my prayer that Asafo would never take place again. But maybe that wouldn't be the appropriate way of dealing with those issues. The girls want things they do not deserve at that moment. At their stage, their brain can do one thing at a time, which is learning, absorbing important things for themselves to help them become responsible adults. Because they have occupied their brains with unnecessary things they do not deserve, the short skirts, the latest iPhone, which they can only operate 0.01 of the iPhone functions. They do not know what is being used.
Ms. Sena Nusala also advised parents to be more calm with the adolescent girls.
Please be more calm in dealing with the adolescents here. What we experienced some years ago is not what is going on now. Because a 10-year-old boy can tell you that if you don't want me to sleep at home, take your house. You and I couldn't see this into our parents' face some years back. And this is what is happening. This is what is hindering our girls from performing in Adam West. We are saying that this time round, education, we are intensifying our school club activities. We're going to engage the girls during our club, our school club activities. And we are pleading with parents.
Government is working on securing grants to construct a 600-bed tertiary health facility in the Volta region. The Volta Regional Minister, Dr. Archibald Lecha, who announced this, said the initiative is aimed at improving access to quality health care in 3 regions. He was speaking at the Volta Region Health Sector Annual Performance Review Conference in Hope.
The 2023 Volta Region Health Sector Annual Peer Review Conference provided a platform for stakeholders to discuss and strategize for attaining the short-term development plan for 2022-2025. The Volta Regional Director of Health Services, Dr. Crisantos Kibio, announced that the region scored 3.8 out of 4.5 on the National Health Performance Table. He indicated that though the region is placed among the best performing regions in the country, it recorded some increase in maternal deaths in 2023.
Although we are performing better than the national target for institutional maternal mortality ratio, our ratio increased from 82 deaths, that's maternal deaths, 82 per 100,000 live births to 97 deaths per 100,000 live births. That's the increase from 82 to 97. That is if you take every 100,000 live births, what it means is that 97 mothers died. There was a further reduction in the percentage of HIV-infected infants born to HIV mothers. If you look at the figures from 2021, it reduced from 4.2 to 2.4 in 2022 and further reduced to 1.9% in 2023. However, the antiretroviral coverage rate, which stands as 58.6% in 2023, requires significant effort to raise this to the target of 90%.
And on today's episode of JoyNews series Filth Exhibition, we turn our attention to the Aladuna community, where residents use an open gutter as a makeshift dumping site for all types of waste. My colleague Sweetie Aboche has the rest of the story.
Nestled between Nima and Newtown, with a particular focus on the settlement adjacent to the residence of President Akufo-Addo, human dignity collides with desperation. This is the Aladuna community, where approximately 500 people call an open gutter their makeshift waste disposal site. For Amagbeto, a resident of 2 decades, it's a daily reminder of their struggles with waste management and the stinging neglect by government. He speaks of an absence of proper waste management infrastructure with a heavy heart.
Everybody put rubbish in the gutter. Even I'm fighting with people here. They come and shit here all the time. Every night they came and put over the nafojira fia shai. Alaba enye nuika edenafu enyo na nwa. Tamaro na dogo na po ma taga dunu. When you watch the forward there, you can watch it there. The Kayayo people, they always come there. Over na Masan and the other side. Nova New Katan Kocho Malatai. Their pampers, their everything, they dump it to the gutter there. They don't have any place to dump it. So they just put it inside. So for me to the Kukuna government, Ado Agbina Miap Nunola Badi, the area man no be no saver, no jagbagba. But what the Belonu Akona Amuyokata area. Umaga Globo yo hogalo sio. Nobo yo hogalo shia afudege.
But it's not just the stench of refuse that hangs heavy in the air. Across recurring floods, a menacing spectre threatened to wash away what little semblance of stability they cling to. As the rains draw near, one can almost feel the collective anxiety gripping the community, a community already scarred by the memory of the devastating June 3rd flood disaster.
June 3rd kwampomi wo me dem. June 3rd a nsuo to ye no. Enya asem ketwa. Me ma me nyina ye fridge e bibia say ye. If kwa me nana flower krampo wato odi ye bro machine edwuma no. Eno so say ye. June 3rd ye line wo ye dem sese a. Aban bia meboa ye obibie mu. Nti nsuo to de enye ize kura wa ha sei. Etumi yiri saa na aba ye dem wo ne nyina. Ne abobo ye nyama. Ebi wa na ye de ye ma tutu fridge no so. Gota no. Ye tu nsuo gum. Ye tu bola sugum. Ni de no kura de meka. Ese bola bie ni ase. Container bie ni ha. Bola ka mbe fa ase. Nti ye de ne ye sesa ye bola ye de begu yin. Sanka bola ka ba ye de begu bola ka nim. Ese bola ka bia ma nti ye de begu gotem. Ebi wa ye de begu payment no so na ya hye. Ya hye na ya pregu gotenim. Me ni aban na eben. Aban otimi huni area mimi to downstairs aban so to downstairs me ne hye ben me fa ase amakwa aba ha nti aban to me ya baabi na waja ha to on mu that me say onju ya ho.
Living so precariously close to the gutter with no proper waste management system in sight, Ejewe's voice trembled as she recalled the horrors endured. Dosu, another resident here at Aladuna, his tone tinged with frustration and righteous anger, joined in the conversation to demand government to give them some answers. Where are the funds allocated for the sanitation initiatives? Because they haven't seen any.
Ebi a nso yi wa hasa June 4 June 3 ja nso ni nyina ye bre wa ha ye gota ha kra ye de toilet enje so mo bo hwe mo kro apombo mo se toilet edemu ara ye national toilet o abani de se mi si mbeka be bi kire no kra on ye that's the number one on ye because ye bre de bia mo fa ye bre ya kan Adum TV.
President Akufo-Addo's pledge to transform Accra into Africa's cleanest city by 2020, later extended by former Sanitation Minister Cecilia Dapa to 2024, now stands as a stark reminder of unfulfilled promises, as slogans like Year of Sanitation, Keeping Ghana Clean agenda, and making Accra the cleanest city fade into obscurity. The reality of filth encroaching upon the cityscape becomes even more glaring. But it's not just about cleaning streets or clearing drains. It's about restoring dignity, reclaiming hope, and honoring the humanity of every individual who calls this Aladuna community home. It's time to hold our leaders accountable and demand tangible action to address the sanitation crisis plaguing our communities. For Joy News, I'm Sweetie Abochi.
Back in the studio, my name is Aisha Ibrahim. Let's take a break on JoyNews Today. We'll be back with business.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the business segment on Joy News Today with me, Pius Kojo Baka. The Office of Registrar of Companies has so far recorded positive response from companies along the North Industrial Area in Accra regarding queries on renewal of registration, among others. On the third day of its inspection exercise, the team registered improved compliance from companies operating in the area. Here's more.
As part of our mandate, we go around to inspect companies registered with us. So today, around this time, we're visiting all registered companies to make sure that they are complying with what the New Companies Act is saying. It's not about anything, just to ensure that all companies comply with what they are supposed to do. Some of the compliances are checking to see if they've been filing their annual returns, checking to see if the certificate of incorporation is nicely displayed at the reception so that when the client enters in, the client knows that he's going to transact with this company. So basically, we are here to educate people who've registered their companies. We are here to encourage them, for those who've not registered, to register their businesses and then meet the clients that we've been working with one-on-one and know some of the problems they encounter with the company that they operate. That's all that we are here.
So far, what are some of the outcomes? I can see you've visited about 3 or 4 companies. What are the outcomes?
Yeah, there are very positive outcomes because on Monday, we started the exercise on Monday, and then we advised some companies on some of the basic things we need to see on their premises. And today when we got in, we saw that some of them have really displayed their certificates. Some of them gave us their books to go through and then know what they are really doing. So the outcome is, for the start, very, very positive.
Have you encountered any company or companies that are yet to renew their registration or their permit in any way?
Yes, like I said earlier on, once we see that, we educate you on what you are supposed to do, the yearly mandate that you are supposed to do. That's what we see some, and then most of them too have actually complied with what we asked them to do. Yeah.
In more business news, the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNIT, has intensified its efforts to attract the informal sector economy onto the pension scheme. The trust is therefore providing platforms for such individuals to enroll in the scheme. Deputy Managing Director Michael Adu disclosed to Joy Business at the opening of a Made in Ghana exhibition organized by the trust here in Accra.
Move to introduce the informal pension scheme is born out of low living incomes of people in the sector after active work. According to the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNIT, it is important to support the work of such people in order to make more income to be able to pay something monthly towards their retirement. Deputy Managing Director of SNIT, Michael Addo, said the exhibition is to expose them to more markets.
After the self-employed, one of the best things to do is to expose them and patronize their products. Because as you expose them and patronize their products, their business do well. And when their business do well, of course, their contribution to the scheme also does well. And then it's a win-win for both parties. So this is our maiden SNIT Ghana Month exhibition. It's looking very good. We look forward over the next 2 days to patronize our self-employed members here. And if it works out very well, we'll replicate it across the country, all in our effort to patronize and expose our self-employed members and clients.
Mr. Addo therefore urged the public to take interest in the work of the trust and get on board any of the schemes to secure their future.
All other self-employed members watching us, we say, please walk across to the nearest SNIT branch and register with us. Or alternatively, better yet, a SNIT self-employed staff will be coming to your market or to your office to register you. We encourage you to join the self-employed scheme of SNIT and also benefit from the pensions that will accrue to you when you retire.
The exhibition is solely for made-in-Ghana products and products for medium and small-scale enterprises.
And that's it for business for now. I am Pius Kojo Baka. Sports is next, right after this break.
Good afternoon, you. Welcome to the Showbiz segments with me, Jacqueline and Samaya Boa. Now, I'm pretty sure you are familiar with songs like Otolege by Oforian Punsa, Asieho by Dadelumba Adedede by Miss Bell, and many more. You might have heard a backup voice or probably a female voice messed with the main artist's voice. Well, we found the voice behind the stars, Yvonne Ohnijan, aka She, an unsung hero who has been making waves in the background of Ghana's greatest hits. Despite her invisibility, her vocal sounds echo through some of the timeless songs. Well, if you're familiar with the movie Titanic, I'm sure you remember the floating door that kept Rose alive. Well, that floating piece of wood has been sold for about $718,000 at an auction ever since the release of the 1997 film. Fans have wondered whether the panel was big enough to fit her lover Jack as well. Well, it seems Black Panther villain Michael B. Jordan is indeed interested in visiting Ghana. He has spoken about his profound travel experiences in Africa and looks forward to visiting the motherland Ghana. That's all for the Showbiz segments with me, Jacqueline and Suma Yabwa. Aisha.
Thanks for bringing us Showbiz, Jacqueline. And that will be it for the bulletin this afternoon. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Log on to myjoyonline.com. There's more of the news and updates of all the developing stories. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.